Okay, so the way that I treat plantar fasciitis in the office is I always start off with my version of the Charette Protocol to adjust the ankle. And so we get it adjusted. Just kind of reset the joint, make sure it's where it's supposed to be. So now that the joint's kind of moved around, we've activated the joint. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to compress the Achilles tendon all the way up into the aponeurosis and into the calf muscle itself. And the reason is because I want to get the muscle spindle fibers, the Golgi-tuned organs, and the entire function of the neuroreceptors in the whole lower extremity. So as we do that, we're going to have her point her toes and we're going to have her pull it back as far as she can. Range of motion is very important in this. So if they start to fatigue, make sure you get them to pull that toe back and point it down as much as they can. Now we don't want to stop, we want to continuously move. And when we compress the ankle, just understand it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. So if they complain or you notice it hurts, it's okay. You want it to be really uncomfortable, you don't want it to hurt. So we're just gonna compress it and point and pull. Point and pull. About this speed, this is what we're gonna do. Now, what I'll usually do is, as I compress this, I'll feel the tendon. If there's little nodules in here, I'll work those nodules until I feel them break up. But you can slide up and down, like I said, so we get a lot of the Golgi-tuned organs in the Achilles. And then as we kind of come up and down, we'll get to the aponeurosis, and we get a little of those muscle spindle fibers. And then we just keep coming up and down, move up, and just slide your hands up and down. So I'll usually go up. We'll do about 5 or 6, 7 movements at each point and kind of come up and down. You can kind of figure out how your patient's kind of doing with it, but as you kind of come up and down, you'll kind of notice that they squirm a little bit more or they just fatigue out and they can't do it. So the first couple times, so watch that. But as they go along, they're gonna get obviously better and better at this as the tone equalizes. So just let them do this. Like I said, I usually do this 3 times a week for about 3 to 4 weeks, and it works really well. Now, the big thing to understand is that if they're running, if they're walking, if they're standing a lot while we're doing this, it's gonna make it take longer. The more activation we get to the calf, the higher the tone stays. And so the whole point of this is to give a reason for the body to think, oh no, this is too tight, we're gonna tear. Sends a message to the brain sends a message back down to the calf and tells it to reduce its tone. As we're activating the anterior tibialis, this tone starts to come up and it starts to balance again. And so that's the whole purpose of doing this. So as we go through it, if they're running a whole lot, they're just gonna activate the calf more and tone up the calf a little bit more. So it'll still work, it just takes a little bit longer. I've had some of my NFL guys we have to do this with, and we have to do it all throughout the season because they're training so much. I've had people who are training for marathons start to feel this come on, and they'll come in, and we have to do this until they're done with their training. So just remember that if you're activating the calf a lot, it's gonna take longer. But like I said, the most people, 3 weeks, about 3 times a week. So that's the compression, that's how we treat plantar fasciitis.